You're listening to Chem Stories, a podcast series created by people with lived experience of P&P chemsex.
Hey Sugar Plums, this is Captain Patrice welcoming you aboard Chem Stories Airlines for our YYZ Integrity Flight. On this fifth and final Toronto departure, host Bradley introduces three experienced flyers, Christoph, Edwin, and Tyler. Stay seated, buckle up, and prepare for a naughty yet enlightening ride. Our flight plan forecasts a three-part conversation exploring the very definition of P&P and chemsex, from tales of first encounters to the surprising ways it can shape lives, including transformative experiences and the challenges of managing drug use. We'll be on their way shortly, so please make sure to keep your hearts and minds open at all times. Keep your prejudices securely stowed, as this flight is a judgment-free zone, and prepare for takeoff. Should you experience turbulence while listening to this podcast, please visit our list of resources and services related to P&P chemsex in the episode description and on chemstories.ca. Thank you for choosing Chem Stories Airlines, where the journey is always a trip.
Patrice and I were walking back from the grocery store earlier today, and he mentioned the courage it takes to tell your stories. And it does. But sometimes I forget that. So thank you for coming today, actually. A lot. Thank you a lot. We appreciate it. And I think that it does take a lot of courage. And I never would have thought of it as courage. I would have thought of it as strength of character and confidence, and just like a knowing that is, which I think I'm describing courage. So thank you for doing that. And I said that I brought you guys together because of your, and I mean this sincerely, your healthy relationship with drug use. Because there's a story out there in the world about drug use that it is, if it gets out of control, you're on that knit-ridden mattress at Queen and Sherburne, and you're selling your virtue for $5, which is a reality, but it's not everyone's lived reality. And I think that we want to move away from those sensationalized stories. Mm-hmm. And so why don't we go around and just say who you are? And actually, I'm interested in why you want to share your stories. Edwin?
Well, besides the money, I'm here.
And the mac and cheese.
And the mac and cheese. I'm here because I would like people to hear my voice and what my stories are, and maybe can connect with the voice and connect with the story.
Awesome.
Hi, I'm Tyler, and I actually started using drugs when I was 18 years old. And when I tell that to people, they usually are, a little bit taken back. I guess because the way that I look, I guess because I'm not a skinny, what I guess the textbook kind of image that you would see from people who think about drugs or drug users. But yeah, so I've been doing drugs for a long time. And, I think it's important to tell stories because, to relate to people, to know that you're not the only person out there, to know that there's other people like you. It feels better. True. Not feeling alone, I think.
I think so. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Christoph. I've been using drugs for over 20 years. And having said that, it's, I've come to a place where I'm comfortable with my skin, comfortable with me telling my own story. And yeah, I've always said that, if a person knows thyself, then it's like, it makes it that much more comfortable for the person to tell their story.
What is chemsex? It's like, have you ever used that other than in term like this? Like, are you texting people at 3 a.m. saying, are you interested in chemsex?
No, do you party?
P&D.
Yeah. I think it goes with that question. If you're
at 4 o'clock, you either do it or you want to.
Chances are I think the majority is party.
Yeah, I've never heard like a chemsex. I don't think is like.
It's not a community word.
No, it's not a community word.
In community, we say, at least here in Toronto, we say party. Yeah. Do you say party or do you say P&P?
I say party.
I say party.
Yeah. And do you capitalize the T when you type it?
No.
Sometimes.
Do you?
I don't.
Mm-hmm.
And did you?
When you get down to it, when you want to ask them if they party, then the next thing you might say is that, what do you use when you party? And then you would say with the T as capitalized.
Do people ever say, yeah, I party? Weed and poppers or?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well,
That's fun
when,
times.
when I'm normally contacting somebody, I like, I kind of, geared towards like, I do weed first to see how they, how they take to that. And then from that,
right.
it kind of, it will lead to other talks and about drug use and so forth.
Is it a lot to navigate?
I feel like I've been doing it for so long, I can sniff them out. Like
Oh, yeah,
I just
yeah.
by their
Tell me about
picture,
that.
by their whatever the things that they say, by the questions that they're asking. I know in 2 seconds whether or not they party. If it's someone that I'm interested in, like I've got it down to an art.
I
If
know
it's
that.
4:45 in the morning,
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, if you're like you just said, if you're online at 4 a.m., like chances are you don't have to ask them if they party because normal people aren't up at that time. Normal people. I shouldn't have said normal people, right? Because that's actually
Let's be abnormal.
going into the stigma. That's feeding the stigma.
What was your first time using? Like the very first time that you used?
was highly sexual for me. I've not having sex with anyone my whole life, and being 18 and doing one line of meth, and then I was kissing the whole rave. I was making it with like 40 guys in one night. So I think it was highly sexual considering where I was sexually in my life, because I hadn't had intercourse. I hadn't even really made up with a lot of people. So that was a whole big thing for me.
Yeah. So it broke down the barriers.
It definitely did.
It's liberating
More than one way. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But none of my friends did meth. So it's not, I couldn't just go and say, hey, can I get meth? It was all about the E's and about the MDMA.
Is meth, what is the connection between meth and sex? Other than like, what is that connection for you? Is chemsex some other drug?
Meth equals sex.
Meth makes everything more interesting. Cleaning your baseboards, it makes it more interesting, in my opinion. No, really, and that's what I think. It just rolls out into sex. I mean, it makes it better. It enhances it.
Is there an experience when you were having sex and high that was as transformative for you, that informed you in some way?
I mean, that's a deep question. Go ahead, please.
It can be a positive or negative.
Yeah, I mean, it took away my having chemsex. I mean, I would probably be like a prude of sorts. Like I mean, I would probably be someone that didn't have a very vast sexual experience or something like that. I think I'm very very vanilla. But that's one positive that came out of it for me, because it did take away inhibitions. And so when I was doing things that I probably would have never done, and some of them good, you know what I mean, and great experiences from that, it pushed me in the right direction in that way. I think that's definitely something that it gave me.
Yeah, I remember like when we used to party back I'm talking early 2000s in South Beach. We'd go to this club called Pump. I remember, I remember, and this is going to the
Great
going to the club like in the wee hours. So I remember somebody gave me, I think it was K at the time, and I must have been in the K hole, because it put me into a really dark place. That I mean, everybody around me, everything just went red. I'm talking, seeing people's faces like this kind of reptilian kind of. I just thought I was in another dimension. Like, and I mean, that kind of jolted me in a sense where I was like, I didn't want to even take anything else.
Definitely K. It was
definitely definitely K. Yeah, definitely. But everything just seemed very just negative, and it just seemed like it was like an underground world to me.
And how did you get out of it? Like, how did you?
Well, having the right friends around me, because and that's the thing. I think a lot of people will see their friends or their so-called friends and see them in distress, and then they don't know what to do, or they if someone is actually witnessing their friends not having a good trip. I mean, it's for them to kind of let them know, because a lot of people don't tell people that they're in, how they are when they're actually,
or what they're taking.
Yeah, and so forth. So it just comes back to being aware of.
Did you sniff the K or?
No, I sniffed it. Yeah. Yeah, someone had their hand through the circle of our friends. I saw a bumper come through the circle.
So generous.
Yeah, and they said, "What? The music is so loud," and they're like, "What? Just sniff it." Like, okay.
I know the first time I did E was I got it from the doorman at a bar here in Toronto.
Oh, okay.
And we were walking in, and he said, "Do you want E?" And I was taking it and putting it in my mouth as I was saying, "Yeah, what is that? What is that?" It's like, "Oh, it's just make it." And I was like, "Oh, it's." And then I found out I knew what it was after we discussed it. But the trust of that is like what you're talking about. Is like someone hands you something and you take it. Because I trusted the doorman more than I trust some of the friends that I had.
Yeah.
Because I trusted that if it was something bad, he doesn't want that on his watch. He doesn't want me
Right, yeah,
dancing on the dance floor.
For me, anything I take, I have to be informed. I have to be anything that I ingest wholeheartedly first and foremost. I have to either research or, but a lot of people just leave it to the next person just to say, here, take that, and it's just like, okay, you'll find out what it is, and I can't put that into anyone's hands for me to just be like, okay, I'll find out figure it out. But yeah,
that's a great.
I always have to like check in.
I remember being like, going into high school and, just had hit puberty and realized that for sure I was gay. You know what I mean? I spent a couple of years before that trying to make myself, trying to talk myself out of it. But, going into grade 9, 14, 15, knowing that I was gay and, everyone starts drinking beer and they're getting drunk and it's all sloppy. And then suddenly acid came into the mix. And I remember when I did that, it was one of the best experiences I've had in my life because it opened my mind and it brought me to a level that was I don't know, it made me feel like it was going to be okay. Like truly, the acid did that for me. And it, I don't know. They say that, Einstein, all these, fabulous people, these people that are at a different level, they all had experiences in drugs as well, right? Like, I mean, a lot of prolific people have, had that in the mix, right? I think it takes, it brings you to a place, and if you can handle it, then good things can come out of it.
There was a period of time where I was putting crystal with K in a slam. And I swear it just knocked me into this world where I could see from the other side of the looking glass, like as a perspective of like the people that are there on my council looking after me. Yeah. And it taught me just from this weird experience, it taught me that I need to start taking care of the people I have in my life now and not miss them when they're gone later. Do you know what I mean? So it really changed my whole perspective and I became a nicer person because of using.
Wow. Not just in keep rolling with that. What is good about slamming?
I don't know. It's just
like is it if it's
you chase after that first rush that you had. Basically, it's what people are doing when they're slamming. They're just trying to get as high as they were the last time, but it's an instant thing. I don't know how to describe.
Is that chase always there, or is it?
I think it is for people that want to slam. I think it really goes back to their first time or first times, depending on if that was a positive on the first one or not.
So when you slam, it's like, is it about being in the present with and that sexual encounter, or is it about, I need to chase that slam from 5 years ago?
Both. I think both.
I think some people get off on the fact that, or the act of just
the ritual. Yes.
Yeah, so looking at that. Teach his own, I guess.
Even people that don't slam, they like to watch people. Some people that don't slam, I know, they like to watch people get slammed because they get all excited.
I mean, I've been in a group where, a guy has slammed, the guy comes out of the bathroom, he's like, oh, you slammed already? Oh my God, I wanted to see that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, wait up 2 hours.
My pet peeve is always like when you do it and someone's like, how you feeling?
Do
you feel it?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Are you okay? Yeah? Okay,
no.
Yeah. So how do you feel now?
Asking if you're okay and all that's totally great, unless you're doing it in an annoying voice like that.
But it usually is
ways of making sure the person is like coming to.
No matter what the voice, it always sounds annoying. When it's just like, let me just experience it. Like, thanks, Daddy. But there are people that make a living off of that now. Like there's a career was created by people admitting and going around and making a lot of money doing it.
I don't make a lot of money, but I make a lot of money. Depending. It depends on the weekend.
This is news for people. Like this idea.
It's called a street nurse on the, people will say, are you a nurse?
No, I've heard dark nurse.
Oh, I've not heard that one.
In the opioid world, it's called doctoring, which is so straight. I like dark nurse.
Yeah.
Or street nurse. Or admin. And it's not secretarial.
Where's my admin?
Yeah. Where's my admin?
So dynasty. I know what you mean. I've been called to certain parties to help admin and so forth. Yeah. But it's people I don't know. It's just like,
it took me a long time to be able to trust the people that I'm going to do that. But now I can do it so easily just by asking them a few questions. Like they were at the doctor's office. I am truly a nurse. I say, have you smoked some of this today?
Right.
Because I don't provide the drug. I use their drugs, their needles, their everything. But I ask them if they've smoked it. How did you sleep last night? What did you eat today? I'll ask them a whole bunch of different things just to make sure that they're on the right page and they really want to do it.
That's
one.
fair, though.
And for two, it's like it helps me get comfortable with the person.
Yeah.
So that I'm able to fulfill my job or my task.
Right.
Well, just like any doctor or nurse would, they get some backstory, right? Like you need that. But then it's like if they're not emulating a nurse or as close to it, and I mean by going in confidently and boom, boom, bada bing, bada boom, it's done. Already I know, no, you're not doing it, right? Because there's those, if you're going to be looking for it for an hour and like all that kind of stuff, then it's not happening, right?
Well,
you need to be confident.
Sometimes it does take some time, but then when the person's actually taking their time to do it and they're feeling for veins and not just looking for veins, then you know if someone's being professional or not.
Yeah. But if it's taking some time, they should take a break. You know?
Well, if you're paying someone to administer for you and they're playing the role of a nurse, you want them to continue that aftercare moment for you?
Do they?
Or you just want it to be gone?
Well, the nurse, what happens to the nurse when you're going to the hospital? I leave when she's done. You know what I mean? It's similar to that for me. I'm
Not
sorry.
necessarily. If you're in the ICU, the nurses are a little bit closer to you.
Okay, are you okay? Great. Then that's it. That's fine with me. But when it's like I'm just kind of being funny, but it's kind of annoying when it's something you find it's just common. People they want to they're excited by it, right? So they want to know more information. But it's like right now I'm just did it and I'm rushing, so I don't.
I normally get that reaction when it's somebody's first time because it's like you feeling it out.
I already have them have their phone set to just push one button and my Uber comes. Yeah. So they've already set up my Uber so that when they're high, they don't have to do anything. And I can just say, are you good? And they say, yeah, I'm great. I'm saying, okay, I'm going to go now, push play.
Right.
So when they push play, they know that they only have 2 minutes of my time still left to feel any feelings or to describe if they're having a bad trip or something. You know you're at a good party when someone is having a hard time and everyone just stops for a second, looks to check in, and everyone takes turns making sure that person's still good. Yeah. That's a good party to me.
Yeah.
Because then that's still taking on that nurse role. Like I'll always be the one to stop having sexual moment and to make sure he's on his recovery position, blah, 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 blah. And then someone bring me a dick, you know? It just...
Someone bring me a dick. They get brought to you?
Yes. I just sit on a throne.
Is this common, what you just explained?
Very good, very common. I mean, when I go to been to the bathhouse in the past, I've sat by many people and just had to kind of forego my night taking care of this person, and you know, while all the people that have administered this person is gone out of the room, and they're, you know, so you know, that's my nurse role in that night. Yeah,
there's the G people and the people who slam. Those are the two ones that they need babysitters or they need to have somebody with them because God only knows what would happen. You know.
I've been around some smokers that need to know that they're okay.
Right.
For a long time.
Really?
You're fine. You're going to be fine. And then I get to his mode and I'm just like annoyed. I'm like, you're good. Get naked.
But smokers really like what?
It's the same thing can happen with someone that have a psychosis moment when they're just smoking.
Okay, psychosis.
So their psychosis may be that they're like, oh my God, I'm going to die, or oh my God, I need a hamburger.
I'm just thinking of someone who's done too much, for them. So like they've done too much G, or they've done too big of a slam. That's why I think I'm not thinking the psychosis. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm not thinking of it as a psychosis. I'm just thinking more. Does that make sense?
No, I've met some guys where it's like, you know, just after that initial slam, I'm talking within 10, 15 minutes, the person just who you thought was there with you is just, I call it like, you know, when they start looking in the corners of the room.
Right.
And like they're just not there anymore. And then of course, you know, I've met a guy where he's just gotten up and he's just going through my drawers, and I'm just like, okay, the party's done now. And of course, getting him out of the apartment, it's just like, you know, he's trying to be so resistant of, you know.
They've dumped all their shit across their whole apartment. Packing up is a big process.
And the moment I'm saying, you know something, I'm just going to call the police. And, you know, they kind of like
snap out
of it, and like they're out. But I mean, I've had friends tell me where a guy has not wanted to leave their house, and then there's this big struggle, and then big fight at the door, and so forth. So it's like I've never experienced that to that extent. But I mean,
young people, especially young people that are snapping, they end up taking advantage of an older person and like their kindness. Right. Exactly, I know this person's going to be kind, so I'm going to do a lot today because I don't care.
Yeah.
But there's also a thing that you're mentioning around psychosis and mental health diagnosis, or a mental health diagnosis, like like they confuse each other, don't they? Or because they overlap. And
they're
how do you pull them apart?
I think they're together. Your mental health and your psychosis that's it, because
Does one like
Well, how
like
do they
king off the other?
how do they diagnose you? There's like a list of questions that they ask you, right?
Yeah.
And that's how they diagnose you. So someone who's using drugs could very well
Lie.
say yes to a lot of not even lie, but they're experiencing a lot of
It's
those
their reality.
ups and downs, like a bipolar person would, or like a manic would. You know, that's how drug use goes, right? So you may not actually have a mental illness, but the drugs are making these questions think that you are. You understand? Because that's how doctors diagnose you.
I agree, but I was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder while I was a user. And then when I stopped doing, I still had the same emotional breakdown because my childhood trauma came to be when I was 35. Like I lost my mom, I lost my brother, I lost my dad, I lost my career job, I lost my roommates. They kicked me out all in the same year. And then my brain just like, I don't know, just I changed into a different person.
So was this mental
emotionally.
disease always with you, would you say?
Yeah,
it
when
was
you're-
always with you, right?
Borderline personality disorder starts when you have something traumatic happen when you're a child. And it can start right away. Or like me, it was dormant until I turned 35 and I went through all of this trauma. And then all of a sudden, I can't sit in a room and just keep my mouth shut. If someone says something and I disagree, I just jump across the table.
So did the drug use exacerbate it? Did it make it worse? Did it make it help you? Did it do both? Like what?
I think I thought that it was making me worse. So that's why I took the quitting. But now looking back, I don't think it did at all.
What's the relationship now between your mental health diagnosis and your drug use currently, the way that you practice it?
Okay, well, for using crystal meth now, it actually grounds me and makes me more focused onto things and not so emotional. So it helps me, like I'm self-medicating by using the drugs. I'm talking with my doctor recently, and they think that I might have ADHD also. So to qualify for me to be diagnosed, I have to stop doing crystal meth. So I think another break might be coming soon, so I can start doing their med cycles. But there's crystal meth, there's amphetamine in the ADHD medication.
I take amphetamine every day.
I was going to say, I lied actually when I said I first tried drugs at 18. I actually first tried drugs when I was 8 because I was doing Ritalin, which has meth in it. When I was prescribed that because I do have ADHD. So
you were diagnosed with ADHD as a kid.
And actually meth helps me focus when I'm not using it, especially for the first, when it's really, really cloudy. It's like, I can't focus on anything when I stop doing it. Eventually it kind of gets better, but it never gets as good as it is when I'm on it because it helps me focus. So it's like, and it's used to being in my system because I've had it since I was very young. But
I think that there's a difference between people who have ADHD, which I do as well, and how they manage drugs. Or do you think that it's just that there are so many different things that impact how we manage? I think that
there's so many different things, but I think that there's definitely some type of chemical missing in my makeup because it's so clear to me, like when I don't have this help, this jolt, whatever meth does or amphetamine does, I can't focus. And it's been like that. Like you said, you've had your mental illness for your life. This has always been it's always been that way. And this isn't your experience, is it?
No,
Similar
like,
to yours.
When I lay off like the drugs itself, I mean, I just find that I dream a lot more, but my legs are actually frailing just in my sleep and so forth. So I don't know if it's a byproduct of just the coming off of it and so forth. But no, mentally wise, I don't think I have. I don't think I have ADHD.
But do you think it's affected you any other way? Like, has it done any other things like drug use or chemsex, any of that?
No, I would think it sometimes can make me more tired more tired. Like if
so you can like smoke and then actually sleep.
Yeah, I can sleep. I can sleep on it. Yeah, no problem. But I mean, I think the more I stay up, the more I'm more apt to like crash and then.
I just want to know how many years of experience are at the table. So like how
of drug
long,
use?
Of drug use. Like how long have you been using? How many years?
30 years.
I said 20 before, but since 1998. So that would be what?
Way more than 20.
I think it was, is that 27?
Same for me, but I'm 46.
27 years?
I started when I was 18, mine 48. Yeah. So is that 30 years?
37 years.
30 years. That's from when I first tried it. I tried crystal for the first time when I was 18, and now I'm 48.
And I always thought I started drug use late in life because I started in my late 20s. So I'm like, wow. So it tells you my age too. But I'm like, wow, 37 years. My gosh.
37. And you're 30?
Yes.
And your?
I don't do math.
How old were you when you started?
1999, I was 18.
26 years.
26. Oh, okay. How about you?
Oh.
24. When I first used drugs, I had seen them for 24 years before that, but I used on the back of a toilet in a bar.
We need to create a name for all this resurgence of people who are in their like mid to late 50s who just started using
That are a
drugs.
late bloomer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like there's so many of them.
Yeah, I have
So
a
many.
lot of friends like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Excuse me.
so there's 122 years of experience around the table.
Okay, so they better watch it.
So they better fucking listen.
Better listen. You want some advice about chemsex, drugs, rock, this is the table to ask.
for you.
Yeah.
www.122years.com.
122years.com.
Thank you for this, by the way.
Thank you for this.
Attention all passengers, Captain Patrice speaking. We've reached our cruising altitude. We're now approaching the second leg of our YYZ Integrity flight, where Toronto host Bradley resumes his conversation with Christoph, Edwin, and Tyler, as they explore double standards around PNP and chemsex, as well as the realities faced by those who practice it. More compelling stories await. Subscribe to stay updated. If you've encountered turbulence while listening to this podcast, please refer to our list of resources and services related to PNP chemsex in the episode description and on chemstories.ca.